So it's officially been a few days now since Friday. AJ and NGANNOU faced off in Saudi Arabia for knockout chaos. And oh my word, was it knockout chaos indeed. Absolute peach perfect right hand floored the Cameroonian, and AJ became victorious alongside others like Joseph Parker and what for me personally should have been Nick Ball. We are here today to talk about all of the knockout chaos big fights, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. It really, really is. And I suppose we've got to start off with the main event. Francis Ngannou, Anthony Joshua. We did a live stream. My reaction is over there. It was absolutely unbelievable. We did a 5-hour long live stream because, well, they got the timings all wrong, which first of all, I'm going to start on a bit of a negative. That wasn't the best. It wasn't the best to wait like a 30, it was like 40 minutes between one or two of the fights, and it's just, they need to sort out the pacing a little bit because it had gone midnight by the time those boys were walking out. So it was a little bit delayed. It should have been at about 20 past 11. It was definitely gone midnight by those boys were in the ring. And yeah, it's that's the only negative I've got on the card. But the rest of it, the boxing, absolutely unbelievable. I mean, we had some unbelievable performances. Louis Green with a great knockout of Jack McGann. We've got, obviously, Joseph Parker down twice against Zhili Zhang. But then Zhili Zhang doing absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, in the rest of the fight. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the big boys, and we might as well start off with the big boys. AJ Ngannou, wow. Wow, wow, wow. What a peach of a right hand that was from AJ. I mean, all of them. The first one in the first round where Ngannou thought it was a good idea to switch into southpaw. AJ quickly reminded him that he has been in the ring 24 rounds with the best heavyweight and southpaw on the planet in Alexander Usyk, and he just quickly reminded him, boom, I'm not on your level, pal. This is the big boys game. This is boxing. We ain't MMA fighters over here. We know how to do it properly. And he sat Ngannou down with just under a minute to go in round number one. After about 30 seconds of Ngannou switching to southpaw, it was just like that. He was on the floor. It was a flash knockdown. Yes, it was definitely a flash knockdown. He wasn't really significantly hurt compared to the second one, which happened in the second round. It was a pull counter right hand, and he's absolutely just, you could see the way he fell. He was staggered. He was all over the place. He didn't know where he was. You could see it in the eyes. The eyes never lie, Chico. And yeah, I thought he could have been waved off after the second one. And then AJ just unleashed hell. Absolutely, by far, his best knockout of his career. One of the, probably knockout of the year. I don't think that's going to be topped, because he loaded that right hand from all the way down here, and then went boom, right over the top, through the guard, and then you saw the absolute novice that Francis Ngannou is. Tyson Fury made Ngannou look a lot better than he is, because he was an absolute novice in there against AJ. You could see it by the hand defences, the positioning of his hands, and his last right hand just went through the guard like it was nothing. Boom, landed on the chin, and Francis Ngannou was there, Sparko, sleeping on the canvas. And I'd never even seen him rocked before that. But he got dropped twice and then fully stopped, knocked unconscious. And unfortunately, needed the oxygen, which was a little bit scary at the time. I was a little bit worried for him on the stream. But luckily he got up and he's all okay, it seems like. And I suppose he's just going to have to move on with it. I don't know what he does. We'll talk about Francis first. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know if he carries on with boxing. For me, if he does carry on with boxing, there's one fight, and it's Deontay Wilder. Because I think that's a guy who's very gun shy. I think if there's a chance to beat someone, maybe you get Wilder. You can definitely bully him. I mean, the size comparison is massive. Is in physical stature. Obviously, I think Wilder's a few inches taller, but you definitely see the mass between those two is absolutely completely different. But that's like the only fight that I'd really want to see Ngannou in boxing, to be honest. And if he doesn't want to carry on with boxing, then I suppose he goes back to the PFL MMA. And yeah, I mean, he's probably get paid a decent amount in there as well, because they've been bought by the Saudis as well. So I don't think it'd be any crazy money like it in boxing. Apparently, he might have made 20-odd million, I believe, in this fight versus AJ. So he's probably made about $30 million in 2 fights. I mean, who's the real winner? coming from Cameroon and the mines and all that to now 30 million from 2 fights. Yes, you got knocked out, but in the first one, realistically, I think he should be 1-1. Unfortunately, the record books say otherwise. But for the fans who watched that first fight with Ngannou and Fury, I think most of us know that he won that fight and was robbed, if we're being honest. But that's the game, I suppose. That's the game. And at the end of the day, who really cares if it says 1-1 or 0-2 when you're checking your bank balance and you know what it is? You've come over from MMA, you've give it your best shot, you've probably fought number 2 and 3 in the heavyweight division, and you can't really complain with that. Hats off to you, Francis. You're an absolute legend. But AJ, what a performance from his side. He did what he had to do. And even though it was an absolutely unbelievable knockout, I think that's what everyone expected. I think it was a lot more late. I think a lot more people were going late for AJ. I mean, there was a load of people going Ngannou. I think they just built into the hype, and then the closer it got to fight week, they just thought, oh my days, he's going to do it, he's going to do it. But the people with sensible brains, like myself, no. People who know boxing understood that AJ was going to do it. I didn't expect it to be that early. A lot of people probably didn't expect it to be that early, but it was. He did the job, and he made Tyson Fury look like a bit of a prat, if we're being honest. He made Tyson Fury look like a bit of a prat indeed, because that performance showed what you should do against a novice boxer who is coming in from MMA. But Anthony Joshua has changed a lot of opinions in the heavyweight division now. There's a lot more people saying they want to see AJ Fury now, and I'm one of those. I'm definitely one of those, 100%. Because I thought we'd lost it, if I'm being honest. I thought we'd lost it after the 2 Usyk fights from AJ. I thought we'd lost it. But 2023, we got to rebuild. His last performance last year was very, very good against a top 10 heavyweight against Otto Wallin. And then this performance now against Francis Ngannou, obviously with him coming off a great performance against Fury, he showed what you should do. And it also showed Tyson Fury that, you know what, I take this serious. And when I take it serious like I always do, I get the job done how I should do. And Tyson Fury will be looking at that thinking, well, I should have done that, but why didn't I? Well, that's a good question, Tyson. Why didn't you do that? Are you losing it, maybe? Is he losing it? Potentially, he could be. I think we all can say that he definitely didn't train how he should do. But I think we're going to find out a lot at May 18th. Usyk Fury, for me, I think Usyk wins the fight. I want Fury to win the fight because I want to see Fury AJ, because I believe AJ gets it done over Fury. Now, I believe the heavyweight landscape for me has changed a little bit. I think it's Usyk number 1. People putting AJ number 1 need to calm down, because for me, it's Usyk number 1, AJ number 2, Fury number 3. And that's how I would go for it. I don't think... What's Fury shown me that he's the second best heavyweight in recent times? We're going off performances 2 or 3 years ago against Wilder, but they were grueling fights and they can take it out of you. Dillian White, he knocked him out. AJ knocked him out years ago. Chisora, he'd already beat him twice. And Ngannou, he didn't even win. Yeah, he got given the scorecards, but he didn't. And I know he might not have trained, but at the end of the day, what have you done for me lately? AJ has done more for me lately, and that's why he goes into second and Fury's third. Like I said, May 18th, we're going to find out a bit more. We're going to see if Fury can turn back the clocks and get his Wilder performances or his Klitschko performances out, because he's in it against a guy who doesn't come in out of shape or doesn't not live the life. Usyk lives the life, and he's a true professional, and he will be taking it 100% serious. So we're all going to find out May 18th, undisputed fight. Definitely going to be doing a live stream for that when it comes around. We'll be doing more content about that sooner to the date, but definitely keep an eye out for that date, because it's going to be very, very interesting in the heavyweight division, of course, because it is for the undisputed heavyweight championship. But I hope Fury gets through. I don't believe he does, but even if he doesn't, I wouldn't mind seeing AJ Usyk 3. I don't know if the result changes too much, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing from AJ at the moment, and Ben Davidson seems confident, so I'm confident. But that was a whole lot of waffling for the first fight. We're going to talk about the 2 other fights briefly as well. Zhilei Zhang versus Joe Parker. I mean, Zhilei Zhang, disappointing is what I would say. Zhilei Zhang, disappointing. And Joseph Parker, congratulations, sir, because you are a true warrior. Getting dropped twice, but being able to stay composed like he did and grueling out a decision win is very, very commendable indeed. I think he, for me, is the 4th best heavyweight on the planet. I did have Zhilei Zhang 4th and Joseph Parker 5th, but I did say Joseph Parker would win on the decision, and I did say he'd come through a little bit. I didn't know he'd get dropped twice, but I did say he'd have to come through the fire to get a decision, and he did, and he grewed it out, dropped twice, but for me, I think winning 8 rounds. I think I gave Zhilei Zhang 1 to 3 because I thought Zhang started well, as he does, and then obviously the 8th as well, where he dropped him for the second time. But apart from that, he didn't do anything at all, and I gave Joe Parker 8 of the 12 rounds. I really, really didn't. I think he deservedly won the fight, deservedly, because Zhilei Zhang was disappointing, didn't throw it at all. He was too scared to empty the gas tank because we know he's got problems with that gas tank, and he was too scared to empty the clip because he was afraid of getting potentially stopped because he was too tired. And I think that is the biggest weakness. Even though he's got absolutely ultimate power by only grazing Joseph Parker in that second one and drops him, we know he's got ultimate power, but it comes with a price, and that price is not being able to push the pace in a 12-round fight, and that is going to cost you, and it did cost him. And there might be a rematch, but I don't want to see that personally. What I want to see next is this man, Joseph Parker, versus Anthony Joshua for a potential vacant world title. I know they're probably going to do Hrgovic AJ when Fury and Usyk rematch and the IBF gets stripped, but I would prefer to see Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua for the vacant world title, for me personally, because I think that'd be a great fight. I think AJ's changed completely from that first fight, and Joe Parker massively has changed from that first fight. They're both considerably better. I do think AJ would get it again, but I would love to see what Parker could do. I think he's on an absolute roll, and for me, he got the best 2 wins back-to-back in the division by a mile. No one comes close. What Usyk's back-to-back fights are AJ and Dubois, and while Ngannou's are... No, Fury's are Ngannou and Chisora, AJ's are Ngannou and Wallin. And Joseph Parker's or Deontay Wilder and Zhilei Zhang, by far the best last 2 fights and the best last 2 performances in the heavyweight division. So congratulations to him. You're the 4th best heavyweight on the planet, and I'd love to see you fight for a vacant world title. I don't know if it'll happen because I don't know where he's ranked in the IBF. I know the IBF number 2 rank is vacant, so whether he goes into that rank could be a potential option, but then AJ would fall out because I think he's not actually gone into second. I think he's still 3rd. They've just made the second place vacant for some reason. I don't know why they did that, because AJ beat Wallin, who was second. But anyway, I don't know what will happen with that vacant IBF spot and the vacant IBF title that will obviously be vacated after the Fury-Usyk fights. But yeah, very interesting fight, definitely. I wouldn't go back and watch it. It wasn't the best, but it was a very good performance from Joseph Parker. And then we're going to talk about the final big fight, Ray Vargas and Nick Ball. Did they get this wrong? For me, absolutely. I think it was quite a simple fight to score. I think there are close rounds in there, but for me, it's either 5-1 in the first half and 5-1 on the second half, or 6 in the first half, 6 in the second half, for obviously Ray Vargas and Nick Ball. And then, for me, it's quite clearly 6 rounds apiece with the 2 knockdowns for Nick Ball, and I thought Nick Ball should have won it. I thought Nick Ball should have won it with the 2 knockdowns. I thought it was quite clear. I didn't think it was that difficult to score, but there you go. There were close rounds in there that can quickly change the score and make it a 113. The minimal I could see it was 113, 113. For the rest, I thought it should be in Nick Ball's favour. I didn't see it going in Ray Vargas' favour. I thought he had a great start to the fight, don't get me wrong, but he tired and he was cowarding, dropping to the floor every 2 seconds, doing very veteran things like at one point after he got knocked down for the second time, he spat his gumshoe out and chinned it into about row Z. Yeah, I just didn't like the performance from Ray Vargas, especially in the second half of the fight. And Nick Ball was pushing the pace. It wasn't always clean, but he was the one pushing the pace, landing the shots, and I thought he'd done enough to win. And I feel sorry for him because I think he should be the WBC champion of the world, and he should be fighting in a unification fight versus Raymond Ford. But it looks like he might be going into the Raymond Ford fight anyway on the Matchroom versus Queensbury 5v5. But I suppose we'll have to keep an eye out on that. I really do feel for Nick Ball because I'm a big fan of him. But that is it for my roundup for the AJ versus NGANNOU card, Knockout Chaos. We had some other good performances on there as well. But before we wrap up, I just want to say what a warrior Kevin Lerena is for fighting in what was an absolute traumatic week for him with his mother passing away. An absolute warrior you are, sir. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one.